What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show. We talk all things money, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about two different taxes that California is trying to impose on their residents. So it seems like everyone is trying to leave California. I talk to normal people who say that the cost of living has gotten so extreme that they cannot afford to live there. They're gonna end up going to places like Vegas or Phoenix where it's cheaper, or even the Midwest where it's really cheap. I also talk to wealthy people who live there and they are now trying to leave as well. You look at Elon Musk and he was feuding with the county over his Tesla workers not being able to work. He ended up saying, screw it, I'm going to Austin, Texas, I'm gonna build my factory there. You guys don't deserve me. And it seems really dumb that California would allow that to happen, but it's what they're doing. And if you can believe it or not, they're gonna be adding new taxes that are gonna make even more people leave. So let's talk about the first tax. As it stands right now, they have a state income tax of 13.3%. For reference, places like Las Vegas, where I live, have no state income tax. So if I make $1 million here in Las Vegas, I would just pay federal taxes on that million. If I go make $1 million in California, I pay federal taxes plus 13.3%. That would come out to over $130,000 extra. I can make money the same exact way, but I'm gonna pay California an extra $130,000. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not down with that. And I actually experienced this when I was flipping houses there. I remember when I flipped my first house in California, we were getting ready to close at the title company, and then they had me fill out basically a profit and loss form. They wanted to know how much I made on that property so that they could take their 13.3% right there. And I thought it was a mistake. I was telling the title company, I'm like, no. I don't owe them that. I don't live in California. We never do that in Vegas. And they said, no, any profit you make in California, you gotta pay that 13.3%. And I was so shocked because in Vegas and other places where I flipped, anytime a property sells, I've never been asked for a P&L. It's just, they don't care. They just go about the title work and the deal is done. So I was super confused that first flip I did over there because I didn't know why they needed a P&L. Because even with federal tax, technically, I don't have to pay it until I want to. Now, when I say that, don't take this as tax advice. I can choose when I want to pay the federal government their tax. I'm going to get penalized for not paying it on time, but typically that penalty is going to cost me far less than what I can actually use that money for as working capital. The way I look at it is the government is giving me a loan at whatever that penalty interest rate is. And if I remember correctly, it was around 5% or something. I can't borrow money at 5% with house flipping. You know, hard money lenders cost 9 to 10%. So to me, I would rather have the capital and pay the government an extra 5% to go pay them later. I don't pay them quarterly. I don't pay them April 15th. I wait till the very last second to pay them because I can use that money and make more money than the cost of being late. Well, California does not let me do that. They want their 13.3% right then and there. So like I said, the first time that ever happened, I was stunned. Now I know to expect it every time I sell a house in California. But the whole point is, it is more expensive to do business and live in California. And that's not even from the cost of living perspective, just the tax perspective. And paying that 13.3% sucks, but that's what makes this tax they're now trying to implement even more mind-blowing. They want to raise that 13.3% to 16.8%. Crazy. Now every million you make, they want to take almost $170,000. If you're at that type of income level, you're giving away over half of your income to the government. I mean, I'm pro-USA, I love my country, but I do not think my country deserves half the money I make, especially when we create so much other money for other people in the economy. We're hiring people, we're employing people, we're shopping at all these stores, paying taxes in all these different ways, and then to go pay 50% on the profit, it ain't right. But that's what California wants to do. I don't live there, I don't care, but I can tell you, if they do get this approved, you're gonna see a lot of people moving. That's gonna be the straw that broke the camel's back, for real. And that's only one of the new tax proposals. The second tax proposal is something I have never seen done. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments because I'm not sure if this has ever been done or not, but they are trying to tax the ultra wealthy based on their net worth. If you have a net worth over $30 million, they wanna tax you 0.4%. Now, I don't have to worry about that because I ain't worth $30 million. Hopefully one day I will have to worry about that, but I won't be living in California, so actually I'll never worry about it. But they wanna tax you 0.4% if your net worth is that high. So let's just talk about the minimum here. If your net worth is $30 million and you get taxed 0.4%, that's an extra $120,000 you're gonna have to pay them regardless of if you made money or not, because they're taxing you based on net worth. What about all the billionaires who are there? If you are worth $1 billion, you're gonna have to pay them $4 million just because. And I don't know if this is something that they would do every single year, but even if it was just a one-time deal, that's not right. Even if they get this passed, I'm not even sure how they could do it. How many people actually have a net worth that you can determine? There's so many assets that are held in so many different ways. I have no idea how California would audit it. You could have money outside of the country. You could have hidden bank accounts. If you wanted to get creative, you could throw debt on all your real estate properties to make them seem like they have less equity. There's a lot of ways to hide wealth. So I'm not sure how they would even enforce this. It's easy to go see how much cash you have, how much you have in stocks. As we talked about with real estate wealth, they're gonna take the equity you have and count it towards your net worth, but you can make your equity look smaller by taking out more debt. How do you calculate what a business is worth? If it's not a publicly traded company, are they gonna calculate it based on EBITDA? Are they gonna go off the tax returns? I have no idea how they plan to calculate what a business is worth. In one of my videos that you can find in the link below, I talked about my net worth and my assets. And as we went through it, it's kind of difficult to see what someone's true net worth is. We came out to a little over $4 million for me, and that was based on cash, real estate, stocks, that type of stuff. And I had many people in the comments say, what do you think your business is worth? Because you're not factoring that into it. And I said, honestly, I have no idea. I've never tried to put my businesses up for sale. I wouldn't, because I love them, but they definitely do have value. They make money. I don't do much with them. They're pretty hands off. So they have value. I just don't know how much. So I don't know how California would take those businesses and say they're worth this much. And how would California take businesses that you own outside of California? Are they gonna tax you on those businesses? They're not based out of California, but you own them. So I don't know. I really don't know how they're gonna do that wealth tax. It would be curious to see. Another interesting part about all this is that if you leave, they are talking about still coming after you for these taxes, which is even crazier. How do you penalize somebody for California taxes when they don't even live in California anymore? They wanna leave because they don't agree with what you're doing, yet you can still go after them for taxes in the future. And they're talking about retroactively doing it, meaning you didn't even have the choice. If they decide to raise it for 2020, or even somehow 2019, 2018, and then they say, you owe all these taxes, that would be crazy. So I don't know how they plan to do this. I just don't understand how you could raise taxes that high, how you could tax on net worth, how you can tax people retroactively, how you could tax people who don't even live there anymore because of all this. It kind of blows my mind. I mean, I'll tell you, my mind was blown when I was 18 years old living there. I was going to college at Cal State Northridge, living in the San Fernando Valley, which is not nearly as expensive as other parts of California. And we had a 2-bedroom apartment for $2,000 a month. And we could not afford it. So we had 4 people sleeping in a 2-bedroom apartment. We each had twin beds in each room, living together as college kids. And that was over 10 years ago. I don't even want to know what those apartments are going for these days. So as I said, I don't know how people afford living there now with its current situation, its current cost of living, plus all these increases in taxes. I'm going to be very curious to see what people do in California, both on the normal income level and then the wealthy income level. I just don't see the point of staying there with all this stuff. And you gotta believe that this is just the beginning. This is not the end all solution. I think they're gonna continue to raise taxes. I think they're gonna get even more creative. If this doesn't work, they're gonna move on to something else, because there's probably a tax deficit and they're gonna have to figure out how to cover it. So if you're tired of living in California and you don't wanna deal with this, you could definitely just come live in Vegas with me and then go visit California when you feel like it. Super simple trip. And then you avoid all of these taxes, your cost of living is less, you just gotta deal with the dry heat. But anyways, if you like this video, do me a big favor, go hit that like button. If you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button and make sure you follow me on all the socials. I'm active on there daily. And I'd love to hear in the comments below what you think of this tax. I don't think many people are gonna be affected by the wealth tax, but I'd love to hear your perspective anyway. Do you think it's fair that they should have to do that? As a normal earner, do you think it's fair that you should pay 16.8% to California just because you live there? I'd love to hear you guys' perspective, especially those who are living there right now, what you think of it. Are you seeing people leave the state? Have you thought about leaving the state? I'd love to hear the firsthand experience of what you guys are thinking. So if you stayed with me until now, I appreciate you for watching this video. Take care.